Welcome to Brains, a podcast exploring the inner workings of our brains, mental health, and disabilities, and how film and television portray them. Hosted by me, film and television editor Sarah Taylor.
And by me, writer-director Heather Taylor. Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that the lands on which we recorded this podcast and where you are listening are part of territories that have long served as a gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples. And we are thankful, as guests on this land, to be able to live, work, and gather here together. We continue to learn about the history that came before us and its impact on the present, and we encourage you to do the same.
Our guest, Tom Sinclair, is an actor and filmmaker based in Winnipeg, who joined us to talk about his journey into acting and filmmaking in Manitoba and his experience working on the feature film Champions, which was his acting debut. We first met Tom at the Banff World Media Festival, as he was a DSO delegate like Heather.
That's right. And always, here's a quick reminder to our listeners that this interview should not be taken as medical advice, and it is for informational purposes only. Because everyone's brain is different, please consult your healthcare professional if you have any questions. And now, Tom. Hello, Tom. Welcome to Brains.
I'm happy to be on the show.
Can you tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself?
I'm Tom Sinclair, and I'm a local filmmaker and local / actor from Manitoba, Canada. I do a lot of filmmaking on my free time and trying to inspire other youth and whatever to get into acting. Kind of a role model and an influencer on social media and stuff. I'm kind of a pretty laid back guy. Nothing too special about me.
Well, you're lovely. I got to meet you when we were in Banff in June, and it was great having conversations with you. And I'm really curious about what made you get inspired or interested in doing film?
That's a very interesting story. The first movie I saw was the Ron Howard Grinch Stole Christmas. That was the first movie I ever saw. I have home videos of myself recreating scenes of the movie and stuff. I was like 6 or 5 and just recreating and acting like Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey was a big influence for my acting career. And I do a lot of, I'm very good at improv and stuff in my acting performances. And I used to just watch the movie just non-stop and used to watch the bonus features non-stop to see how movies were made and just trying to get all the details of filmmaking into my thing. And then after that, I just sort of got into other DVDs and kept on watching bonus features and stuff and watching other movies and seeing what other actors, what other performances and stuff people can do in film. And it's like, I think the second film that had a big influence for me was the Titanic movie. Yeah, like just doing the same thing, watching the bonus features and learning about the director and trying to make my own films when I was young with my dad's video camera and stuff.
I think your dad said that you'd make your brother would have to play Max when you did the Grinch because you were the Grinch and he was Max.
I used to put antlers on him and everything.
I love that.
It was so cute. Okay, so you were in the film Champions with Woody Harrelson. I just watched it. You did a fantastic job. So it's just for everyone who hasn't seen it yet. It's a feature film about a former minor league basketball coach who was ordered by the court to manage a team of players with intellectual disabilities. So can you tell us a story of who you played and how you got cast?
My sister was the one who saw this post on Facebook or whatever, looking for a feature film, looking for people with disabilities. And she said, maybe I would be interested to try out. And I said, oh, and I sort of had doubts about doing it at first. And I sort of almost didn't do it at the time, but my parents and my family told me this is a lifetime opportunity. You never know what could happen. And I said, and I just throwed my hat into the ring and I did about I think three video audition tapes for three different characters or whatever. I didn't really, and it was kind of funny because it was down to me and my brother Jerry. We look exactly the same, and but yeah, it's just both of us have done Special Olympics basketball and stuff in the past. Both of us had a bit of experience, and he's kind of more of a sports guy than I am. I haven't done a lot of sports. I did sports once in a while to just get out there and get some exercise and whatever too, and maybe meet new friends and whatever. And when I got the phone video chat with Bobby saying I got the role, I was just over the moon, um, excited and just like fanboying over the idea I'm going to be with a guy from Zombieland, and yeah, I was just super thrilled, and I was like, oh. And then I looked into Bobby. I've never really seen any like Bobby's movies, and I sat down and watched Dumbo Dumbo with Jim Carrey. I was like, oh, he worked with Jim Carrey, my role model. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
That's awesome. Okay, so you mentioned that you played a little bit of basketball. Your brother maybe played a little bit more, but how many of the cast actually played basketball? And then how did you train to be part of that role? What was your training?
And I think it was about three of us on the team that had experience with basketball.
Yeah, I was really blown away by everyone like doing so well. And there was, I think, behind the scenes at the very end of the movie where there's someone who's not supposed to get a basket and he got the basket and everyone's cheering. It was really amazing. I was like, that would be me. I'm not very good. Okay, so you've told me some of this, but I mean, our audience hasn't heard this yet. So, what was the experience on set like for you as both an actor and a filmmaker?
My experience on set, the first day on set was kind of nerve-wracking for me, but it was a experience I won't ever forget. I had butterflies in my stomach, but I was so excited to like really show Bobby what I could do on screen and just put 100% and above into my performance. And the first day I met Woody on set the first time, and um it was pretty cool, and chatting with him and getting to know him and playing a little bit of basketball with him on when the cameras were still getting set up and whatever. He sort of got to know us before starting filming. It was really nice of him to spend his time with us and try to get to know us person one on one. It was just an amazing experience. Even Bobby was um made time for us to like really got to know us, and Bobby, I think later on in the film shoot let me um call action and hold the slate thing and clapped one of the scenes in the movie. And just the crew on the movie were so friendly. They were showing me how to use the camera and letting me look through the lens and look at the monitor and tell me how certain equipment works and stuff. It was just like a hands-on experience, and it was just an amazing crew and cast, and it was just everyone was just so friendly and so open, and it's something that I hope I get more experience like that on the sequel because there was a sequel in the making, and I just can't wait to see everybody again.
Oh, that's awesome news. How exciting.
I'm so excited.
When the film first came out, what were the responses from other people who had watched it?
The response from the film was amazing. I got my social media, um, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok was just all blowing up overnight. just getting private messages saying you inspire me. I've gotten fan mail around the world, and from Russia, from Australia, from the UK, from Africa, South America, even Alaska, and northern Manitoba.
I love the range.
Yeah, I've got a lot of amazing response, and getting recognized on the streets of Winnipeg once in a while is amazing too. Earlier this year, I have a funny story about a reaction. I had these, I don't know, I was in St. Tatel Mall and I was just going shopping. And it was these little kids that came up running to me. They were like maybe 6 and 8 years old or whatever. And they came up to me, "Oh, you're the guy from Champions. Well, we just watched it last week. I loved the movie so much." And they were asking me for autographs and asking for selfies, and then one of them were crying and hugging me, and they were like, "Oh, I do. My little brother has special needs too, and he does Special Olympics." And he was hugging me and just like really emotional, happy to see someone represent on the big screen.
Oh, what a great story. And like amazing that in Winnipeg, like you're just doing your thing and someone saw you. That's so great.
Being part of Champions, how did it change the way that you think about making films?
It's opened my eyes to kind of try everything. If one thing fails, always try something else. There's not always something, you plan something, but it can go a different direction at any time. And I am just kind of trying to use that experience Bobby has taught me about filmmaking and whatever, and putting that in my experience behind my films and stuff, and just hopefully inspire other people who have filmmaking dreams or want to be actors and whatever to, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
So we were recently both delegates at the for the Disability Screen Office at the World Media Festival, where I got to meet you. It was fantastic. Okay, what for you? What was that experience like?
The experience was a great opportunity. I was really excited and just wow, I was really amazed by how open, um, how people was just so like trying to induce themselves and trying to get to know other people. And it was just really nice to connect with people and really telling them my story, and then hopefully you never know what other doors will be open from that experience I had at Banff. Banff was an amazing week, um, and it was just amazing people meeting you and your sister and so many other people, and just getting to know them one on one was just an amazing experience, and really getting to know what you're into and what my backstory, and having graphics together and whatever was just amazing experience at the opportunity, and I would love to go back one of these days.
For listeners who don't know, Banff World Media Festival is this kind of, they take all the people who make film and TV and they put them into like a hotel in Banff. So it's like
More like
really,
a castle in Banff.
it looks like a
Yeah, the
castle.
castle.
Yeah, your niece was like, it's a castle.
She thought she was a princess. She was like, she's the queen. Everyone needs to bow down to her. I was
I
like,
mean,
okay.
she was very cute. I would be like, yes, you can be the queen. But it's this like great opportunity. I think it's 5 days, and we all got to, yeah, you get to meet with other filmmakers, you get to meet with executives, and then have panels. You went to some panels, right, Tom?
Yes.
What stood out for you? What was your favorite thing that you learned there?
Well, my favorite panel was about like AI and how it could affect the film industry and stuff. Like, and like I've played around with AI and whatever in my free time. Um, and like it's an interesting tool, but I try as a filmmaker, I try not to rely on it as much. I try to do everything myself. If there was something very difficult or something, though, really the only thing I really use AI is to like maybe spell proof my scripts and stuff. That's really all I do, and maybe like um make images to inspire me what something could look like.
Have there been other films that you think did a good job representing intellectual disabilities?
I saw the Spanish version of Champions. That was wonderful. Um, I'm trying to think of I know there's one or two movies that I've seen, but I just can't think of their names right now that had amazing disability actors in it, and I was like, wow, that could be me one day, and I just can't think of the movie names right now. I would need to look them up.
You've seen a couple that you thought were, you saw kind of like, oh, that someone could represent me. What would you like to see more on TV and film? Maybe that you haven't seen yet.
The one thing that I haven't really noticed in film, like the disability that I have, like I was sort of born with it, but it was not something I chose. FSD, like I know a lot of people say that's not a real disability. That's your mom's fault and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't have the choice in the say. And most people say FSD syndrome is not really a real disability, and that really hurts. But I'm trying to hopefully change that. I'm trying to say disabilities come all in all different shapes and sizes, and not everyone, it's not something that you not a disability you can't always see it, and it's something that because the disability that I have has affected my speech for a long time, and I couldn't the doctors told my parents I wouldn't speak ever again, ever through my life. And my mom and dad didn't believe them and proved them wrong.
You've mentioned that you work in film and you do film stuff. So, what kind of film projects are you working on right now?
Right now I'm working on a short film called The Gift of Kindness. We just finished the script last week. I just applied for funding for it, and it's an amazing little story about two different cultures, one from Ukraine and then one from Canada, from Aboriginal, and them bonding over um their experience, but seeing trying to help each other through hard times.
You also were telling me about something you were doing that was kind of like fan fiction that you've been making for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's my Batman 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 project. I like a Nile um big film thing. Nile film director that I really love is Christopher Nolan. I really love the Christopher Nolan Batman universe. And I've sort of been working on this for close to about 16 years, I would say. It's been gone through a lot of drafts. I almost filmed the movie in 2020, but the pandemic happened and all my cast and crew, everything fell apart really quickly, and I needed to kind of start over again. It's a big project, and it's just a passion of love. It's just something that I've been working on, and I sort of use the story of Batman. Some people can relate to Batman because they've gone through trauma and whatever. And the main point of the film I'm making right now, it's called Legacy. What is my legacy? What is my legacy in the film industry.
Where can people find you online so we can follow along and hopefully see this Batman rendition?
I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. Tom Sinclair is on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I don't have a. I am on TikTok. Um, yeah, that's really all I really do. I'm on Twitter sometimes. X.
Yeah.
I want to ask that before we go, is there anything that you'd like to say to other filmmakers out there or other people out there that who may feel like they don't have a path in the industry? Like, what kind of words of encouragement could you give us all? I need it too
Um,
today.
like if you put your mind to it, you can like make any of your films come true, and any stories you have in your head or whatever, it's possible to get them out and shown on screen. You just need patience, and you just need to find the time to and find the right people to make that film possible.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully you have an amazing story to tell and inspire other, and maybe your film can inspire other people or story or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're going to be someone's Christopher Nolan. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to add before we go?
I can't think of anything, but if anyone wants to reach out to me and try to help me get this um fan made Batman film produced, so funding and whatever. I am always my door is wide open for anyone to help me out with any of my film projects, not just the Batman, any of my short films. Or if you guys have, or any of filmmakers have short films that they want help with post production or something. I love to edit films and stuff and do screenwriting and stuff, and I just love helping other filmmakers out there if they want a partner or need. I'm trying to set up my own film studio in Winnipeg.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we'll have to talk. I've been editing film and TV for the last 20 years. So if you ever want any editing chats, you let me know. I'm here too.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Tom, for spending time with us. It's great to get to know you. And everybody go watch Champions and pay attention to Tom's upcoming films, because I think he's somebody to watch. It was so lovely to meet Tom in Banff, and then also to get to talk to him again on the podcast. So thanks, Tom, for joining us. And I look forward to seeing your work.
Yes. And I just want to do another shout out. Thank you to the DSO for inviting Tom and I to come to the Banff World Media Festival. I 100% would not have been able to go without their support. And it helped me. Let's see what happens. But I met some really great production companies. I have a project in with a network because of one of the companies. Woo! So it's just very exciting. I also want to say the DSO recently came out with a new guide. It's the Best Practices Guide on Disability Inclusion in Canada's Screen Industry. Even if you are not in Canada's screen industry, you can use this guide. It's like full of great information, but specifically I loved lots of parts of it, but I love that they had an appendix that said access writers and access intake processes. So an access writers to understand like what everyone's needs are. And it's a voluntary document that anyone, disabled or non-disabled, can use to articulate their access needs to their employer. So I love that they not only said this is something that's necessary, but also gave you the steps to understand. And one of the things was that I was like, oh, this is so cool, was like, if you have a writer in a writer's room who gets cold in the writer's room, and so it's uncomfortable for them, you can either turn up the heat if it doesn't bother anyone else, or if it does, provide them with an individual heater or heated blanket. And I was like, yes, because a lot of times you end up having to do things yourself to make yourself comfortable, whereas this is a way for you to say, hey, I get really cold in rooms. Can we make sure that it's not so cold? Because I have a hard time concentrating when it's cold, for instance.
That's great. That's something that I'm going to download and have for when I crew up my next project, so that it's just like part of the, here's a deal memo, here's an access form to fill out, here's all the things. So that's great. Yeah. Hopefully everybody else can do the same thing.
Yeah. And I think what's really great is that the DSO in Canada, so DSO stands for Disability Screen Office, what they're really focusing on a lot is like, how do we change the rules and laws and regulation? Or in fact, a lot of times, how do we make this practice actually align up with our laws and accessibility practice that we're supposed to be doing? So a lot of the work is about how do we make sure that everyone can have the access to this type of accessibility. And so I love that their focus is like, we have a systemic issue. Lots of countries do, and we are going to change the systemic part of this in a way to help more people with disabilities be part of the screen industry.
Because we're all here in the industry already. Yes. And I think the doors will become further open for more to join if we make these shifts and these changes. So thank you, DSO.
Yes, thank you, DSO. And we can also be more comfortable in doing our jobs.
Exactly, yes.
Surprise, surprise.
So one of our listeners, who's a friend of mine, she was like, so I was listening to this one episode and you said something that I was like, oh, Sarah. So when we were chatting with Grace, at the end I said, keep your eyes out for Grace, which was not the most, the language I used, because she is blind, it wasn't like as, I could have thought to use a different word. And it was just, we then had a great conversation about how language is really important, and how we say things and what we do in our conversations really does matter.
Yes. The first time I kind of thought about language in that capacity, I think about language lots because I'm a writer, but I was working on a project with someone who had been, unfortunately, part of a school shooting, and they survived, a survivor. And so we made sure that on set, we never used words that were related to guns. So things like, it's not shooting. It's not. So it's like a lot of times you use a lot of quite violent language in filmmaking.
Yeah.
And so there's ways to not say that. Yeah. Like, we're going to start rolling. We're going to film. There's a lot of other language you could use, but a lot of the accepted terms are very violent and kind of related to guns.
Yeah.
So we were very, very specific. And I remember my producer saying that I was directing this thing, and I was like, you know what? I didn't think about it, but I now to this day try to use different language because we can use different language. Why do we have to say it that way?
Me and Heather worked together on a project that's coming out, hopefully, maybe by the time this episode's released or within a couple days, called Bird Bros. And we were like, we're shooting the birds, but we're like, no, we're not. We're filming the birds. There's no birds being harmed in this film.
I just think the more we move towards inclusion, and the more that if we have an instance, this is great, Sarah, that you brought this up, that we're like, oh yeah, that's great for me to remember. And then having a conversation about it. And I think that's the way that we continue to grow and learn. So
yeah. And my friend, I would say, called me in. It wasn't she wasn't being like, oh my gosh, Sarah, how dare you? But it was she's like, hey, I noticed you did this. I was like, that's a great notice. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yep.
Heather would like everyone in the world of Netflix. She can confirm it's just US, I believe. The US Netflix viewers out there, please, I beg of you, go and binge watch immediately Revival, because it is now on Netflix season 1. And if everybody watches it, like I will be doing, even though I'm in Canada, I'm going to find a way to do it. And it's going to happen. And then we're going to get them season 2. So we need your help. So please do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
We had a great review from The Guardian that came out today that I'll link in the episode because I'm excited. But it was so wonderful. And I have nothing available on my screen that I can bring it back up. But it's basically it was kind of it's really horror with heart, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. And they're this really elevates it above the standard kind of noir zombie fare, that it really makes it just as it has all the kind of things you want and tropes you want, it also has heart. And so, and they called out our lead, Melanie Scarfano, very well deservedly called out to say she brought so much to the role and to the show, and that it actually the review got rounded up because of her amazing performance.
Yay.
So we got a 4-star review from a reviewer that I love. And so I was really excited to see that in The Guardian today, as we like premiere our season on Netflix. I think for us, the more viewers we get, if we can show the fan love and show that, you know, this is something that people want to see, which is important, then we can get a season 2. I have friends and I know people who are like, I'm not going to watch it if I don't know if there's going to be a season 2. If you don't watch it, there will never be a season 2.
Do it.
So
watch it.
Please watch.
Yeah.
It's really important.
And how many episodes is it?
10.
So 10 episodes just this weekend. Have a cozy weekend. Yeah, have some good snacks and watch
it.
Revival.
Give us all the 10 stars everywhere you can. Go on to Rotten Tomatoes, 10 stars, 10, 10, 10, 10, all everywhere. Episode 5 is my episode, just FYI. Someone interviewed me earlier today, and I was going to say this, but I joked that it's like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle Heist in the center of like a murder mystery, which is kind of true.
Kind of true. I think so, yeah.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
So
now I want a burger.
Yeah, me too, actually. And I don't even eat meat. So, But anyway, Revival. And also we're going to be at TIFF. Mm-hmm. So if you're at TIFF, come find us, come chat with us. We're happy to do. I tell Sarah that I always hate doing them, but I love talking to people. We'll do like interview you on the spot. If you come find us, we will. I promise you.
So yes, Revival coming out this week, which is the week that this podcast drops. I'm hoping anyway. Bird Bros on CBC YouTube. You can watch the long version. It's just a short film, but I love it. Heather helps with that one. And then my feature doc, Invisible Imagination, will have a special announcement. So please stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Brains. Brains is hosted and produced by Heather and Sarah Taylor, and our theme song is by our little brother, Depish.
If you like what you hear, please rate and review us and tell your friends to tune in. You can reach us on Instagram, TikTok, or Threads at Brains Podcast, spelled BRAAINS Podcast. You can also visit our website, brainspodcast.com, to contact us, subscribe, and learn a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Until next time, I'm your host, Sarah.
And I'm your host, Heather.
Bye. Bye.